So how does legislation that could ban TikTok get passed through Congress in a national security bill? This legislation that would force the sale of TikTok or ban it entirely is now law. It's been signed by President Joe Biden. Here's what that means for users in the United States. The House of Representatives, which is run by Republicans, several weeks ago passed this potential ban bill. It wasn't really moving in the Senate. Republicans took another stab at it. They put it into this larger bill that Democrats in the Senate were desperate to pass, and pass it they did. And finally, this bill gets through Congress that arms Ukraine, arms Israel, arms Taiwan, and sanctions American rivals. But embedded in this bill is a provision that would force the divestiture of TikTok under threat of a ban. It's hard to pass bills in the United States Congress. There's a reason it took 6 months to get this Ukraine aid through the door, which most American lawmakers wanted. You get different interests blocking legislation for different reasons. So sometimes American lawmakers take this approach that people refer to as this Christmas tree approach, where you basically take a whole bunch of different elements and you tack it onto one tree. In this case, the tree was this bill providing arms to Ukraine primarily. Republicans in the House of Representatives and a lot of Democrats supported the idea of banning TikTok, so they jammed it into this must-pass bill. People have criticized this measure that they call draconian for taking this sledgehammer to TikTok without evidence of an actual risk here. We've heard about national security briefings that lawmakers have said they came out of scared about what TikTok could do, but there's not a whole lot of evidence that it's done anything. And so the critics of this measure say you're killing a fly with a sledgehammer here. Okay, so it's now been signed into law by President Biden, but the battle has just begun. And this fight is going to unfold on 3 fronts: in the courts, in the boardrooms, and on the campaign trail. In the boardrooms, people are going to try and buy TikTok. The Chinese government says they don't want a sale to proceed and they could block it. You're going to see fights in the courtrooms. A similar TikTok ban passed in the state of Montana. That ban has been suspended in court under constitutional arguments. The third front you're going to see this being fought on is the campaign trail. Donald Trump has done a head-spinning 180-degree reversal on this. He tried banning TikTok when he was president. Now he says he defends the app against Joe Biden. It's part of his effort to peel younger voters away from Biden. The ban is scheduled to take effect on January 19th, 2025. That's the last full day of Joe Biden's current term. And that's unless something else derails it, either a court fight or a divestiture or something else. The president has the opportunity to delay the ban another 3 months, so into April of next year. If he sees that there's a divestiture happening and wants to enable a sale, he can actually delay it a little bit. So basically, this ban could happen in January or April of next year, or maybe never, depending on what happens in court. Trump is definitely going to promise that he's going to undo this law with his magic wand the second he takes office, if he wins this election. But it's unclear to me how he can reverse a law that's already been passed by Congress. TikTok has said 2 things. Number 1, they're not interested in divesting. Number 2, that they're going to fight this in court, the same way that TikTok fought a ban in Montana under myriad constitutional grounds. And that Montana ban is currently suspended because a court agreed with TikTok.